so far?
I think for me, the government failed completely in the last 3 years. I'm talking about this current government in ensuring the security. They came with the intention of doing three things: security, fighting corruption, and I think economy. They failed so far in all those areas. We have had a new frontier of insurrection opened. Before Buhari came to power, it was Boko Haram was the biggest problem. Now we've got Boko Haram and also fed by citizens. It's like a civil trust. And I personally never campaigned for President Buhari. I was very livid with the last regime because of the kind of corruption that was going on there and that I covered. And people wanted to see a different country. They wanted a different political era, and that was what brought about President Buhari. SAHARA Reporters is the go-to place when you want to amplify your voice and you can't get it through the mainstream media. So that's why we're popular, and people will say, but don't forget that it was also SAHARA Reporters that amplified the struggle to have Jonathan become president when President Yaradua was sick in Saudi Arabia, and his wife and others were manipulating the political process to make it impossible for him to become president. Don't forget that it was SAHARA Reporters that fought alongside others to stop the third term agenda. So each time there's an opportunity for us to expand the democratic space, SAHARA Reporters comes in first to help by reporting in depth things that other people are afraid to report. By reflecting opinions of citizens. That's what we do. So when you say it's instrumental, you can also say that we're instrumental to bring about the end of third time. We're instrumental to bring about Jonathan. So we're instrumental. What we did in 2015 was to help broaden the democratic experience in Nigeria.
And so
by reporting faithfully on elections, to ensure that elections were not rigged. In fact, we were the first non-governmental platform to report 10 states of the election. When INEC came to it, we had almost the same accurate numbers. That was why Urubebe was sitting on the floor ranting and how these things work. They drag you in front of him, you can say words, they drag you out, and then the pictures are out there. And I don't want anybody to use me for the ops.
All right, so you talked about how the organization or the website you founded helped in disrupting the media space in Nigeria. Let's talk about the political space, which your movement, Take It Back, intends to disrupt. What is wrong with governance in Nigeria? What has been the problem? We've had 19 years so far of uninterrupted democracy, but what is the problem?
The problem is that we've had democracy, but we have not had Democrats within the democratic experiment we've had. We have people who are running the democratic experiment as if they're morons. And that's why sometimes I refer to Nigeria's democracy as morontocracy. And you can take it from there. What I mean is that we have not had people who have the intention to run Nigeria the way it should be run, the way other democratic countries run their experiments, in such ways that we do not have any form of uninterrupted democratic experience that favors Nigerian people. I'm here to fight for Nigerian people, and you have leaders who are not fighting for Nigerian people. You have leaders who are not working for Nigerian people. And in the last 19 years, you have leaders who are corrupt, people who are incompetent, running the show.
What would you say is the reason?
Broken and divided because of that. Yes. Nigerians are broke.
What would you say is the reason for this failure?
Because we're not in charge of our democracy. The people of Nigeria. Democracy should be about the people, and that's where we are restoring it to now. Like we did with journalism. There was a time journalism stopped working for the Nigerian people, and they were just working for people who are in political offices. And we decided that since we are not hearing from our journalists the way we should set up our own platform, and that's what SAHARA Reporters came to do. And that was how you could find the news about anything that you would never find in the mainstream media on SAHARA Reporters for 12 years consistently. And that's what I did, and that's what we're going to do with politics, is to restore into the democratic experiment, real democracy.
This government will tell you that there are a couple of things that they've done, and give it to them. And for that reason, I think Nigerians should be able to, muster support for them. One of which is the Not Too Young to Run bill that has been passed, and also the legislation passed on giving autonomy for the local governments and also state judiciaries and also states House of Assemblies. Well, that's one. And then declaring the Democracy Day, June 12th, and all of that. Now, wouldn't you say that's a plus?
Not too young to run. It's for them to just give some tokens to young people. All the young people that wanted to run had started running before they signed the bill, including Buhari, the younger Buhari, and others, Adamu Garba, I think. They were all running already. They had already started talking and doing town hall meetings, and in some cases interviews, rallies. So not too young to run is a token for people who need government to tell them to run. I don't need permission from government to run, no matter how young I am, and that's what I've always told people. Even then, I respect them. I respect the people who fought the fight. We have to thank them for doing it, but I don't need government to tell me what to do.
Right now.
Yes.
Okay, so if you're out there, you're listening, we're engaging one of Nigeria's very, very famous person known for lots of controversies. But then that's what people would call out there. But what would you call it? Is it controversy or?
No, I mean, you're entitled to say whatever you think about me. I do what my conscience tells me is right. So
let's talk about the Senate President. He seems to have an issue with you, and you also seem to have an issue with the Senate President. What is going on? What is the relationship?
I don't have any issues with anybody. I do my job. Or my self-appointed job as a journalist.
But he secured a court order against the organization in Nigeria.
He didn't secure any court order against for too long, and that's what I'm against, and that's why they don't like me. But that hasn't stopped me, as you can tell. You know, he's not the only one who's tried to sue me. Obanikoro, when we exposed the Kittygate, sued me in the U.S. He lost the case. I get sued on it. Dino Melai has a case against me as we speak in court. So this is not new. It comes with the territory of my work. What I have against him, I don't think that the Senate President, with respect to Nigerians, should have been rewarded with the position of Senate President with all his baggage, which is that he was involved in looting of a bank, the Society General Bank. This is public information. He went to Kwara State after that. The place is destroyed and looted it. He's actually been tried for lying about his assets. People like that should not smell public office in any decent country. And I have been on his case since 2005, when I first stumbled upon his properties that he bought after the bank was liquidated, after they stole all the money there. So you can imagine. But he's not the only person. You know, I've done exposes upon exposes with regards to Nigerians and politicians, or politically exposed persons, as we call them. So some are more intense than the others, because when you're in public office, the scrutiny will be more from us on our end of the game.
Talking about public office, you're running for public office, but before we open the phone lines, what is your experience? What are you bringing on board? Because that has been the argument that, you know, those who are currently in power have been using to, you know, talk about your campaign, especially in the media, in the mainstream media, social media. So what is your advantage?
That's what they call scare button. What experience do they have? You know, we've had two presidents in Nigeria who've been president before. President Obasanjo, when he was head of state before, and now. Yeah. So what did they experience that they've had in the past when they were younger done for Nigeria? That's the question you should ask yourself. What is my experience? I've been engaged with the democratic process in Nigeria for the last 30 years. I started as a student union leader when it was dangerous to fight against military rulers like Babangida, Abacha, Abdusalami. I was one of the young student leaders who led the struggle for democracy between 1989 and 1999 for 10 years. Went to jail. I was expelled from the university twice. At the point at the University of Lagos, I was beaten up, almost killed, and injected with an unknown substance. So after that, I left Nigeria, 1999, went to live in the US, obtained a degree, and then started SAHARA Reporters, which is well known to all of you. So what better experience can somebody have than to engage with this nation? The only thing that I have not gained in terms of experience is the experience in looting. You know, I don't know how to steal.
So what is the assurance that when you get there, you know, you will not add that to one of your qualifications?
If I wanted to, I would have done that, because I'm in a position now that most journalists in the world, or I mean in this country, sorry, I would say in the world, if they were in, they would be billionaires, because of the kind of information that I have to work with, the kind of very powerful people that I have to report on. and stand my ground. You know, when they try to bribe me, I reject it. When they try to threaten me, I'll rebuff it. And when they try to, seize my assets, I keep going. Like I speak with you, the fraudulent law court judgment that Saraki got against us is tying down over $200,000 of monies belonging to SAHARA reporters. That was what I tried to do, also bring the SAHARA reporters to Nigeria through a media foundation that was operating a lab. That's what they do. So all the young people that were hired by SAHARA reporters who are getting paid from that grant couldn't get paid, but I had to use whatever resources we have to keep the lab open, because every Nigerian has a right to operate openly in this part of the world. I've lived outside of Nigeria for 19 years. I've never applied for the citizenship of the US. I'm entitled. I should have applied after 4 years, but I love to remain myself, a Nigerian, because the green passport reminds me of the need to save this place. And at any rate, the US that you want to go to, somebody fought for the place, somebody saved the place, made it possible for even black people to live there. And so we have to do the same for our country. And whatever inconveniences that comes with it, we should bear it. And that's why I'm bearing the brunt of fighting against the Sarakis of this world and others who are taking away the future of this country and fritter them away, store them away in other countries. The guy has a $19 million pounds house in the UK. They can't build a university for Kwara. He can't send his children to schools in Kwara, even though he was governor of Kwara for 8 years, and he's been Senate president for almost 3 years now. He can't point to any school in Nigeria that his kids can go to. They can't point to a hospital in Nigeria that they can send their children to. They can't point to any market where they can shop in Nigeria. They have to go to the Harrods in the UK to shop every time they need anything. So why are people in this country so complacent that they can't just take on these people? And that's what we're trying to do. That's what the disruption we are bringing about through Take It Back movement is. We must all join hands together, young people, and just take on these people, retire the ones that need to retire, the ones that need to go to jail. The system must take care of them. We just can't continue to act as if everything is okay.
Very well. Now we've been engaging with OMOYELE SOWORE,
Yes.
the publisher of SAHARA Reporters now here, and then we want to call on you to also engage him a little bit before he leaves the studio. 081-6404-1935. That's 081-6404-1935. You can also call 090-861-00011. Now these are the lines to call in. You can also send in an SMS to 090-861-00012. That's for SMSs only. 090-861-00012.
Hello, good morning. Okay, call us back 090-861-00011 or 081-6404-1935. Don't forget, we're on Facebook, so join us in the conversation there. Hello, good morning. Good morning, what's your name and where are you calling us from? Pam, yeah, so Pam, ask your question or join the conversation.
There are things we hear from him. Europe, Sahara, wherever you go, it's like that. You're not like one of the facts. So I just want to advise him to stay straight. Because I have told you times the number that in this country, we don't want the truth to be told. When you tell the truth, you are just lying. If the truth is told, let me tell you the truth, this country will move forward. But we have people who they don't know their left from right. Whatever they tell us, let us say, look at what is happening with insecurity in this country. See, the same people will tell you that this country is secure and investors are coming to this country. You think these investors are idiots? That we talking. So I will continue to support him. Let the truth be told and this country move forward. I wish him the best in his quest.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Pam.
you.
Jerry. Okay, do call us in again if you want to engage OMOYELE SOWORE here on 104.3 Tin City FM Jos.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling us from? Samaila, thank you for calling. Join the conversation.
I wish to I'm welcoming the SAHARA reporters proprietor to Jos, and actually we only saw his campaign on Facebook and other media. So today I know that he is serious. So actually let him go around the country, and what I want him to tell me about is, all the political parties have done their presidential contenders to the north. So that thing will, his party, up to now, I know he didn't mention a party that he will contest from, and I want him to look at that thing. Maybe he is looking for if the president may come from the north from his party that he will stay on. So maybe I know from Jos maybe he will proceed to Bauchi. So if he is proceeding to Bauchi, let us know, and maybe we will bring up Toro to see him. Those people are marrying him to see him. That's my take.
All right, now thank you so much, Samaila Toro. But as regards that, when he tells you the party right now to be an outright campaign for him having here on 104.3 Tin City FM.
But there have been
And
speculations. Can he address the speculations?
Very well.
That what?
You know, of the parties you're going to join. Some people say you might join the new coalition, for example.
Yeah, we're talking to a number of parties and a number of coalitions, but we have not yet pinned ourselves down to one party. And as soon as we do that, we'll let the public know. What we are doing here, which is strange to people perhaps, is that we're building a political movement and platform. A party is a vehicle for running for elections. The political movement is bigger than parties in some cases. The ANC in South Africa had been in existence for years, decades, before it came to power in the 90s. So it's nothing new, but we will announce the party as soon as we get that firmed up. Don't worry. And just to clarify, on the issue of being a vice president, no, that's not the intention. My intention is to be the president of Nigeria next year, come February. February will be the election date. Then now the swearing-in day will be June 12th, from what I heard. So I get to choose my date of swearing in, because the proposition for June 12 was actually mine. I made that declaration in Abeokuta June 3rd. And then the next day they said, oh, we're going to recognize June 12th. And next 2 days, I think. After that, we were coming from Jalingo the other day, met some headsmen, talked to them about ranches. Today I heard that they're also establishing ranches.
Ranches in 10 states. That would be one of the things I would engage you with.
They're stealing all the ideas, but they can't make do with it.
Okay. Let's take more calls. 090-861-00011. Hello. Yes, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling us from? Hello.
All right, do call us back again. Your line is breaking up. Let's see who we have here. Hello. Hello. Good morning to you. What's the name and where are you calling us from? What is your name? What is your name?
Okay, you're Botiana. Go ahead and join the conversation.
I want to speak to Mr. President Omar.
Alright, go ahead, you can speak with him. Yes, he can hear you.
Go ahead, please. Okay.
Zobo, thank you for calling. We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, all the way from New York.
Yeah. Yeah. First of all, all right. I want to commend the president OMOYELE SOWORE for his fight, taking it back to the Nigerian populace, and this. Good morning, Mr. President.
Good morning. Thank you, Zobo. Yes. That's right. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much for calling, and good morning to all our people there in New York. I think there's a lag. Yes. Thank you so much for calling.
Yeah.
Have a pleasant summer period.
Thank you. I think there is a delay because of the time difference. All the way from New York. Thank you very much for calling us. 090-861-00011.
Hello, good morning. Morning to you. What's your name and where are you calling from? Joseph from Bukuru Lockers. Glad to have you. Please go ahead with your comment.
We already had a town hall meeting in Jos yesterday, so it's over. We're now way out of Jos, but definitely we'll be back here. We want you to keep an eye on our website, Sowore2019.org, and my Facebook page is OMOYELE SOWORE. We have a Twitter handle, Sowore2019, and we're also on Instagram as Yele Show or Sowore2019, where you can get information about where we'll be next.
All right. Very well. Yeah. Hello. Good morning. Are you there? What's your name and where you're calling from? You're calling from Dubai?
Yes.
Hello, good morning. Yeah, we can get you. All right, now go ahead with your comment. Yes, you're live online. Go ahead.
Good morning. Thank you so much. And we're coming to Dubai, by the way. We're coming to Dubai very soon. What was that? I didn't hear
Talk
what
about the churches.
The churches, yes. Yeah, you were too hard on the criticisms on the churches.
I don't recall what the criticism was.
All right, if you may clarify a little bit. So
Okay, what I said about the churches, and I
like him. And I want to assure him that we are solidly behind him. He should be rest assured of my vote and that of my family and that of my friends and that of my friends from Oyo State here. And we are going to support him. There is something I want him to continue to work on. These looters have done a lot of evil to this nation by creating religious division. I want you to please continue to.
By the way, it's one of my favorite cities because too much of people, too much of houses.
Yeah.
Very well. So we take a few more, right?
Yeah, but let's take SMS first. This one says, "Good morning, Tin City FM. I'm so excited that you brought my hero to your studio, Mr. Sowore. I wish you the very best in your aspirations. I'm a supporter and a fan. Fan, I have one question for you. How will you solve the farmer herdsman crisis if elected? And this is Rahul from Yangu Gil.
Yeah.
This one says, hi, Senami and the guest. Please ask your guest what he's going to do in preparation to stop the APC from rigging next year's general elections, because we must stop this government in 2019. If not so, we will regret more. How can a corrupt government fight corruption? We're not enjoying this government at all because they have brought so much pain.
You're right, very well. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Alright, Mamsa, go ahead.
To find out if he will solemnly swear that he will step on toes, not minding whose ox is God, so that we can have a new face and a new generation that will have a full hope in what each time you look at the Nigerian flag, you can salute and say, of a fact, I pledge to Nigeria. How many times can we say I pledge to Nigeria, but yet we don't do exactly what is seen or what is expected of us as leaders? By that, I want him to just take an oath that maybe he will do what Trump has done, and I will pray that he will just do exactly and he will become like a Nigerian Trump come 2019. Thank you. I wish him good luck.
Dino Malay, and not the one he's talking about. Let me emphasize that. Yeah.
Amoko, hello. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Yes, this is the studio. Good morning. I'm fine, thank you. What's your name and where are you calling us from? Bola.
Where are you calling us from?
Bola?
Oh.
Alright, Bola, where are you calling us from?
Okay, from Ibadan.
Same.
You have lots of love from Ibadan.
Yeah,
Great fan base then.
Ibadan is a very interesting place because that's where we met the minister.
All right, Bola.
The minister of communications.
Communications.
So
Yeah. Yes, please. Okay, very well. So, wow.
Wow.
All right,
thank you so much.
Bola,
The lines are breaking up. Thank you all the way from Ibadan, Bola. Yes, but
And
I
then
think we should take
we're
maybe
frustrated.
2 more calls.
Yeah, okay, 2 more calls.
Two more
We're
calls.
frustrating someone in here, and apologize for that. He knows himself.
090-861-00011 or 081-6404-1935. Call us back 090-861-00011. Hello, good morning. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Thank you very much for calling. All right, now that's the best that we can take this morning, Senami. Or do we still take one more, last one? The studio manager is saying no way. Okay, so let's just take this last one. Hello, good morning.
He defied him there.
Good morning. Mrs. Paul Bala.
Yeah,
From Genta.
Yeah.
You're welcome to the show. Please go ahead.
I think our kids, and I will continue to pray for you and for you to be our president because we are need hardship in a country. Bring them forth peace and he will be the one and able to use it so that all things will be well done.
All right, now thank you so much, Mrs. Paul, for calling. Appreciate your call. All right, now, okay, so that's the best that we can take from the calls this morning, but few SMSs, then we round up in just a moment.
So says, good morning, Tin City. How can SAHARA reporters as a medium or platform encourage citizen journalism to ensure good governance in Nigeria? And how can SAHARA reporters help create an Arab Spring-like situation that could result in strengthening democracy or democratic institutions in Nigeria? This is Ruben Yenyu Abuja. This one says, Senami, love your show. Tell your guests that they should try and alert the international community that there is an information of foreigners coming to register in this country to take part in next year's election. If this system keeps going on, credible leaders will be so hard to find. And this is Abu in Jos. So go ahead and respond.
So one of our first questions is whether I can step on toes. I don't know if that caller know my history a little bit. I think I've been stepping on toes as a full-time job almost since 1989 when I entered the university. And so definitely we cannot take this country back without stepping on toes, powerful toes. A lot of toes have to be put away after we step on them. So, and a lot of toes will be bruised. There's no question about that. And then the second question I think keep recurring is that of security of lives and property in this country. And I can say categorically that what you need to do is to enhance security. And when I say enhance security, right now our security agencies are ill-equipped, they are poorly led, and they are poorly commanded. And in so many cases we don't even have enough, and where we have enough, they are doing what they like. We have 350,000 policemen or thereabout. Half of them are running around carrying bags for VIPs and their girlfriends and concubines, and they don't do police work. I would take this in my time, when I win next year, no VIP protection, except you are in danger, you get the protection. The moment they arrive at your house, they are going back to work. And it won't be that you have a VIP. Some of them have 50 policemen, some of them have 200. Governors in this country have 200 policemen. In addition to DSS, they have civil defense, they have army, sometimes Air Force, Navy. No reason for that. You should be able to make do with nothing more than 4 or 5 policemen. Even as president, I will not go anywhere with a convoy of cars that are more than 3. Right? There will be a communication car at the back, the presidential car, and the pilot car. If I'm so crazy about going anywhere and I can get in a helicopter and get there, but even then helicopters will be for inspection of road and road projects and other infrastructure projects that we're going to introduce, because I can get up at any time in the middle of the night and go and inspect. You can see a lot of energy. Within the last 4 days we've been in Jalingo, Yola, we're Jos, and any moment from now we're heading somewhere else. So it's very important that we address security comprehensively. And I have to tell Nigerians that security is not only physical security, it's security of our national assets. Like you have power lines, pipelines, nobody is taking care of them. We leave them to be handled by militants. This is not a country. This is a country with government. And then we have a policy that nobody's talking about, cyber security. The next few years, the biggest crimes against nations we committed on the internet, as a matter of fact, it's happening already. We don't have a policy for that. So this is why you need a digital or digitally mastered or minded president, not the analog people that have kept Nigeria in the condition that it is today. Your solution for an Arab Spring, it is here now. You just have to join, take it back. And an Arab Spring, we don't need an Arab Spring, we need a Nigerian rainy season.
All right, now thank you so much for coming. But before we go, what I would ask you before we go is, SAHARA Reporters is funded by Ford.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yes.
But it was funded by Ford.
At the time,
and then
Ford gave us money, yes.
And then the Ford Foundation also gets funding from the US aid. And the US aid is funded by the American government.
No, I'm not. Ford Foundation doesn't get.
They get parts of their funding from the US
I'm not
aid.
aware, but right. Go ahead.
So my question is, at the end of the day, it all boils down to the United States funding all that's in if you look at it, the United States funding the SAHARA Reporters. So would that affect your judgment when it comes to?
No. we've gone past that. I have gone past that. I fought against the IMF World Bank loans when I was in the US. I know better now. But that is not to say that I will not partner with international organizations. But the last thing to say is that if you are so worried about US funding then your university degree somehow might have been funded by the US government because they also give grants to all these departments, your professors. They give all kinds of grants that somehow must have seeped into your life. You know, they invest in research that's brought about the t-shirt you're wearing, the jeans you're wearing is from the US. So I have a great time here.
We appreciate your presence. All right, this is 104.3 Tin City FM Jos.